Here we go, people. Welcome in the Friday edition of the Joe Raineri Show, brought to you by YouWager.eu. It is where America bets. It is where this show bets. And what a week it has been, and what a weekend it is going to be. If you are a sports fan, or if you are a sports investor, or if you are just starting out in sports betting, my word, people, we got some fun coming this weekend. And on this show, we've got a whole lot of information coming your way over the next 35, 40 minutes, and knowledge is power, right? We talk about it all the time. In order for us to be a little more profitable in 2019, for those of us that actually, we want to do this, we want to do it for a living, we want to be really good at breaking down games and being a sports handicapper. Today, you are in for a treat. We are going to bring in a very special guest, Eric Waz, BetterIQ.com, one of the best, and I mean best, most informative websites in the game today, with about 6 of the most knowledgeable sports handicappers in this country. It's all about quality, guys. That's what we talk about, right? You can have 400 guys, but when you've got 6 that have come together to put together this group at Better IQ, just look at the name. There is some information coming your way today that you need to hear, especially for my friends out there, you guys that are grinding it every day, those of you that are putting in the work and you really want to be a sports investor, a sports capper full-time. Like, you would want to just quit your shit and move out to Vegas and live your dream. Well, we've got some information coming your way from Eric, and he's got a play this weekend in college hoops he wants to break down for you, something he's got circled that he loves. He's going to pass that along to you. So I'm talking about some very valuable information for our sports handicapping friends. It's coming here. He's going to join us in just a few minutes. Not to mention our friends from TrendyBets.com. What did they do again last night? They won again. And now I think, what are we, 27 and, what is it, 27 and 12? 27 and 12 now over the last 2 months. These guys have been just on fire. Another one of those situations we tell you about with our friends at Trendy Bets, that they're grinding, man. They put in the work, and they are just hitting at an unbelievable clip, well over 60% since the beginning of the NBA season. They're doing even better than that in college hoops, but their free play alone here is well over 65%. Their free plays on this show, one a day all week, and they just deliver. They're going to deliver again as you head into the weekend. I love their play. I love this game tonight in the NBA. I could not agree more with them, so we will pass that information along to you. Also, we've got some news stories around the NBA and college hoops, including the NCAA coming out and admitting that we probably shouldn't have counted those baskets in the Iowa State OU game and the Villanova-Creighton game in overtime, because those of you that had Iowa State and those of you that might have played the second half there in the Creighton-Villanova game, you got screwed. And a lot of us all week long, especially on the on Make It Rain, the morning show on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network, me and my partner, Dane Martinez, we've been screaming all week that you can't allow this to happen. The NCAA cannot allow baskets that should not count at the end of regulation to count. Whether or not they affect the outcome of the game, they affect the betting world. And like it or not, or you want to stick your head in the sand and pretend like sports betting is not here to stay, you be my guest. But it is. And there is no way in the world the NCAA or any professional league for that matter can put their hand out and say, yeah, we want to get on board with it, but we're going to need an integrity fee. Well, you can't charge an integrity fee if your own damn game doesn't have any integrity. And if your ass is allowing baskets to go in when the time is clearly up in the game and you're not even so much as saying boo about it or pretending like it didn't happen, well, then take your integrity fee and stick it up your ass, okay? The last thing you want to do is say no to the hundreds of millions of dollars that's at stake with the expansion of sports betting. And like it or not, you can act as if you are above it all, NCAA, and how you're worried about the integrity of the game. You can't be worried about the integrity of the game from sports bettors when your own refs and your own conferences just allow people to score baskets randomly. You know, it doesn't make a difference. Clock 4, 5 steps, 6, doesn't make a difference. Just keep shooting and we'll just count it as long as it doesn't affect the outcome of the game. Bullshit. But I'm glad the NCAA actually addressed it finally today by saying that when the tournament comes around, okay, when the NCAA tournament comes around, yeah, we are going to review any end-of-game, last-second shots that may go in. They're going to review them all now. Whether or not it even makes a difference for the outcome of the game, they're going to go ahead and do it. How nice of them to get off their ass and actually say something and address an issue, because the last thing the NCAA wants, okay, it's very hard to sit on top of your horse there, NCAA, and start telling me about how worried you are about the integrity with these kids, and they're only 18. You know, they're student athletes, and we're worried about the outside influence. Well, you can't really have that argument and run with that if everyone on the outside says your refs are fixing the damn game, which was pretty much the narrative all week long. You had the same ref, both games, both allowed the baskets to go on, didn't wave them off, didn't look, didn't address it. Yeah, I would say you better look in the mirror when you're talking about integrity. But to their credit, they did say it, and it looks like moving forward, they will go ahead and be a little more cognizant of, you know, last-second shots that really shouldn't be shots. And if they go in, let's take those points off the board, shall we? So the people that were holding the Iowa State ticket can actually cash the damn thing next time. So congratulations to the NCAA and Mark Emmert and hopefully for the conferences on getting their heads out of their ass. Do want to tell you also it's a big week next week on Make It Rain, and if you are just joining us, we've got this, this national sports betting morning show that we do now across, about 40 or 50 radio stations around the country, streaming on just about every platform known to mankind, including Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Roku, the list goes on, YouTube. I hope you guys will also take us by downloading the app at the Fantasy Sports Radio Network. You can just find it on whether it's the Google Store, Apple, iTunes. Download the app. Take us with you. Great stuff. I mean, some killer content coming your way with the Fantasy Sports Radio Network. If you like money, if you like fantasy, if you want to be a little more profitable, a little more successful, these are definitely going to be the shows for you. So download the app today and then get ready. Of course, Monday, we got a whole bunch of big announcements coming. Download that app. Take us with you. It is Make It Rain on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network, 6A to 9A Eastern Standard Time. That is when we start the day. And yes, I pretty much haven't slept in 3 years, it feels like. But that's okay, because we're going to pass along some valuable information to you right now. And the way we're going to do that is with Eric Waz from Better IQ. He's going to join us here in just a second. If you haven't heard of Better IQ, write it down. Go to betteriq.com. You guys want to be impressed? You like knowledge? You like free information? These guys, they do it and do it right, and you're going to hear from him. He's going to help us understand how to make you maybe a little bit more profitable, or those of you that would like to maybe do this full time. Maybe you would like to be a professional sports handicapper, but you've only got 80, 90 games under your belt, and you're trying to figure out, what do I got to do? What do I got to do to see if I can really pick my shit up and leave and go to Vegas and throw caution in the wind, convince my girlfriend, convince my wife that this is what I'm going to do? How do I do it where I can quit my 9 to 5 and actually dig in and be a professional sports handicapper? We're going to ask Eric that, and we're going to see what his answers are, because, oh, yeah, he's a guy that did that. And now, here we are years later, extremely successful, and you will hear for yourself what we're talking about. So I'm excited about that. And I do also think that one of the things he will tell you about is line shopping, and how important to being a successful sports investor shopping and getting the right line is. But how do I do that? Like, I'm in West Virginia. I got the Mardi Gras Casino, or I've only got, the FanDuel or DraftKings Sportsbook in Jersey. Well, you do it by getting yourself an offshore book that you can trust, because you have to have more than one option when shopping for the right line. That's what it's all about. And you guys know on this show how much we love YouWager. And why? Because we use them. And we love them because the customer service is second to none. Being able to deposit money and pull your winnings out, you don't have to give an arm and a leg. There's no limbs involved. You don't have to give firstborns. And quite honestly, the lines and the pricing are absolutely fantastic. So what you need to do right now and this weekend, and get ready, because there's 125 college hoops games coming your way here over the next 48 hours, a full slate of NBA games. We even have a new damn football league coming tomorrow that we're going to be diving in and handicapping all week long for the next 10 weeks. And if you haven't heard, the AAF is on its way. We've got some games tomorrow. Another reason why you need to join us on Make It Rain as we get you set up there. But you got to have options, guys. So call YouWager now, 1-800-YouWager. Give them the code JRS50, Joe Raineri Show 50. See how we did that? JRS50. Give them that code. They'll drop a 50% deposit bonus right into your account. Doesn't have to be funded with $1 trillion, guys. You just need to put a few bucks in there, so when you come across the number, the right number, you can go ahead, make the play, and start profiting from line shopping. It is one of the most important things into being a successful sports handicapper. So get yourself an offshore book you count on. Keep your local book. Congratulations. But you got to have options, guys. 1-800-YouWager. Use the code JRS50. That's 1-800-YouWager. Give them the code JRS50, and they will get you all set up. All right, let's start making it a profitable weekend, and we can do that. Of course, trendybets.com. They've got your free NBA play of the day. Another winning play is coming your way here in just about 25 minutes. But first,
I'm at the bank making money, making moves. Machines with tools and drills, making grooves. Missions impossible, that's lotsable. I'm upside down, hanging like Tom Cruise. Loud, loud.
All right, guys, pretty excited here. A monster weekend in college, just a monster weekend in sports investing all across the landscape. And we're excited because we get to talk to him again, a good friend, Eric Waz, BetterIQ.com. He joins us here via the Miami Acura hotline because Eric has got a game this weekend. He is circled. It's got like big magic marker. He's got it circled, and he wanted to pass it on to you, and we are glad he is here. So, Eric, thank you so very much for taking the time to join us again, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Joe. I'm excited here, and like you said, I got a game that I love. Great situational spot here, and hope we can make some money with it this weekend.
All right. Well, before we get to that game, I want to ask you about a recent announcement here. NCAA. Listen, I have, as a matter of fact, I might frame it. I still have an Iowa State ticket from earlier in the week against Oklahoma. Okay, and as if that wasn't bad, I was also on the second half of the Creighton game, but I'm not going to argue about that because the basketball guards allowed that to work into my favor against Villanova. But the reality is, the NCAA didn't say anything all week about, 2 times in 3 days that it didn't affect the outcome. The only people it affected by allowing baskets to go in and count after the time had run out was you and I. We're the bettors. And they finally came out. It was funny. The NCAA had said that we will be reviewing all shots made at the buzzer in the tournament, regardless of whether it means that a team wins or loses. Doesn't make a difference. We're going to review it. As a bettor, as a handicapper in that situation this week, as I know I've heard back from a lot of folks that may be new to this, their hands are up in the air. They want to light their hair on fire. Here, what kind of advice would you have for them regarding situations like this, especially with college hoops?
Well, I think you've got to keep things in perspective. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to get some bad calls against you throughout the game. People tend to remember the ones that happen at the very end. It's the last thing you remember. You see a shot that gets off a guy's fingertips about a fraction of a second too late, and the buzzer goes off, and they end up counting the basket in both games that shouldn't have counted. That could help you. That could hurt you. There's not, going forward, you might see 100 of those situations. You might get 50 going for you, 50 going against you. So I don't complain about them too much. I mean, it's the way things go. If that shot happens, with a shot clock violation in, 5 minutes into the game, and they don't review it, nobody remembers that shot. They count it and they say, okay, it's a good shot, even though it came off after the shot clock. So put things in perspective a little bit. I had Nova -9 that game. You can say I didn't deserve to cover it, because they were tied going into overtime, obviously, and I shouldn't have got the cover. But hey, I lose a lot of games where I have the right side the whole way, and I get a bad beat against me at the end. So it'd be nice to win one once in a while where things go your way. So that cost me a push at least. And like I said, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not that worried about it. Those things tend to even out over the course of maybe months or years. Certainly not in one season sometimes, but. I think it's good the NCAA is reviewing the calls. Let's get it right. They did say, I think this morning, initially they said they're going to look at the tournament, last-second shots in the tournament, but I think they're going to now say they're doing it for the regular season as well. They came back with a statement, I think, just like an hour ago, that they're going to review calls now because they don't want any more controversy and people questioning the integrity of their officials. I think that's the right move to let's just start doing this tomorrow. Why should we wait, until the NCAA tournament to get things right? I
think it makes it very difficult, too, and I think other folks have to understand. Like, the NCAA is its own body. They control the tournament. The individual conferences really are their own entities. So the NCAA, although they oversee everything, the individual conferences really have control as far as what they want to do. But I do think that we'll agree that you cannot sit there with your hand out and scream, pay us an integrity fee, when you can't get the scores right and you're not even commenting or reviewing. So I do think in the long run, this is the smart thing to do because there is really the future of these sports, especially the income-wise for these schools and universities and TV rights. It's with guys like you and I.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, let's, like you said, let's get it right. If they're going to charge integrity fees and want a piece of that pie, then you need to make sure you protect the integrity of the game, and that's exactly what this move is. And yeah, it's a step in the right direction. And the fact that we're even talking about this, Joe, I mean, 3-4 years ago, even a year ago, this isn't even a discussion point. The NCAA is not going to even, even speak to something like this in a gambling sense. They'd stay as far away from it as they possibly could. But the fact that we're actually having a conversation, the NCAA is weighing in immediately on a situation like this, it's just a great feeling for me as a bettor that finally the sports leagues and the NCAA is embracing the fact that, hey, gambling's here to stay. Sports betting is going to be here for a long time. Let's start looking at how we make sure that we do it right and we protect the integrity of the games and the officials, because we have the same official involved in both those situations, right? So people are questioning him. Does he have money on the game? Is he Is he fixing games? And probably not. It's probably just a fluke. But you have to look at the optics. If the optics are bad, it's bad for the NCAA. So let's get it right, and let's move forward and make the right decisions.
Love that. He is Eric Waz. It's betteriq.com. For those of you just joining us, Eric has been on the show before, and by the way, he went 2-0 with his picks the last time. But if you don't know what BetterIQ is, Eric just alluded to that gambling is here to stay. Sports betting is here to stay. Sports investing, it's not going anywhere. It's going to continue to grow. And if you are a new bettor, if you're somebody that is new into the game, I can't think of a better place for you to stop by than BetterIQ, because Eric, really what you guys do at betteriq.com, it's geared for everybody. Knowledge is power. We talk about it here on the show all the time, but your approach to how you're helping bettors is pretty unique. If you could just explain real quick to the viewers what it is that you do at BetterIQ.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we're trying to help everybody learn, become a more educated bettor. That's why we named it BetterIQ. We want to create more intelligent bettors, and we do that in a few different ways. One is in our content, in our articles we write. We kind of write things from the perspective of how we see them as professional sports bettors. Everybody on our site bets for a living and pays their bills with gambling income. So we write articles each day. We have a daily podcast, Monday through Friday, 30-minute podcast roughly, where we break down games. We talk about handicapping theories and techniques and methodology. Just try to give people, a sense of what we do, how we do it, and just kind of see it through our own eyes. And just another way just to learn. I think if you're getting into this for the first time, you need to learn from people that are successful in this business. And the best way to do that is to listen to them speak, listen to them write, follow along with their picks, and try to break down why are they seeing this side, why are they seeing that side, and we do that. You see our picks on the side as well. So, it's really a great place to start for beginners. It's also a great place for even advanced bettors, because we do go into depth with some of our articles and our podcast, breaking things down to the handicapping theory. And I think it's just a great resource for people. And our goal at the site is to not only give people winning selections, but to teach them about gambling and make them better bettors.
That's what it is all about. It's music to my ears, which is why we're so happy to have you on the show. Eric Waz, betteriq.com. You heard him. As soon as we're done here, make sure that you guys check him out. Make sure you tail him to @WazBetterIQ on Twitter. Great stuff there. Knowledge is power, and these guys are doing it the right way. And I do want to say also the roster of cappers at BetterIQ. Guys, you'll be hard-pressed to find a more qualified group of guys that are available, and it's on purpose, Eric. It's no joke. I mean, it's not like you got 400 guys there, but the guys that you do have are some of the best in the business.
That's right. Yeah, we only have 6 guys there. I mean, all guys who bet for a living. We have over 100 years of experience in betting sports for a living combined. Most of our guys are living out here in Las Vegas, and we're the real deal. I mean, we're in and out of the sports books, making sizable bets and moving the market. We have a lot of influence in the marketplace when we make our bets. You see numbers moving fast when we release our plays, and that's the benchmark of a successful handicapper is having an impact on the market and beating the closing lines.
Yeah, shifting lines, that is for sure. All right, you got a game here to this weekend that you, again, when Eric and the guys at BetterIQ circle a game, you should like stop what you're doing here and crank up the volume, and let's check it out. Now, what is this game, Eric, that you like this weekend that you've circled?
Yeah, so I'm looking at the Rutgers-Illinois game this weekend, and it's kind of a good situational spot. I'm not a huge situational player. I know some guys are more than others. I'm not a big player when it comes to situations, but this one is great. You have Illinois coming off back-to-back wins at home, playing really well. Just beat Michigan State in kind of an emotional game. You saw them after the game, storming the court. Players were just so excited. It was just a big win for Brad Underwood, probably the biggest win in his 2-year stint here at Illinois. You tend to see if teams come off really emotional wins like this, kind of groundbreaking wins, landmark type wins for a coach and for a team, they tend to kind of have a little lull the next game, especially when you're playing an inferior opponent, which they are in Rutgers. Definitely the worst team in the conference here, Rutgers. They come in Saturday. Rutgers is probably going to be catching, there's no lines out, you're probably catching about 5.5, maybe 6 points here even. And I like this Rutgers team. They're young. They got a lot of freshmen and sophomores. I like the coach, Steve Picciel. He's a very fundamental coach, let's do the right techniques. Let's not not foul too much. Let's play good fundamental game. And they hang around a lot of games. They don't get blown away too often. And they got a chance this year. They're 11-11 right now. They've got a chance to make the postseason for the first time since 2006, which would be huge for a Rutgers program, huge for recruiting. And they got winnable games down the stretch. They got 5-6 games that they're going to be either small favorites or small underdogs in. And this is one of them where they can get a win here. It'd be huge for them. I think we're going to see a nip-and-tuck game here. I think we're going to see Illinois coming out a little bit flat after that big win against MSU. So I like Rutgers for the game, getting 5.5 or 6. I think Rutgers first half, maybe even better bet, depending on where that is. Probably going to see a 3.5, maybe a 3. That could be even a better bet because I think coming out of the game, you're going to see Illinois, like I said, a little bit dull coming out with that big win and maybe not as sharp as usual. And I think Rutgers might catch them off guard there. So definitely like the Scarlet Knights this weekend.
Scarlet Knights Saturday. That is the play. Also keep in mind first half lines will come out. When they do, make sure you're checking them out. Yeah, his rankings are figuring somewhere around 5, 5.5, maybe first half 3. And I'm wondering, Eric, second half wagering here, not in-game wagering, but second half wagering. We know we've got that brief window when it comes out. I have found sometimes that the markets are a little soft there because it's kind of a cookie cutter method. Whatever the full game line was, they just kind of see, well, this is where it is, and they really don't take into consideration what the hell we just witnessed for 15, 20 minutes on the court. And sometimes you can find some value there. Have you found that also as well in those in these situations?
Yes, definitely. I mean, the second half market essentially is just a function of two things. It's a function of the score of the game and the line for the full game, before the game started. So there's really nobody watching these games, looking at what's happening, checking out box scores. It's all formulaic. It's simply there's too many games going on at once for the sports books to sit there and break it down and say, okay, this line should be 5. No, wait, it should be 5.5 or 6. It's simply formulaic. So anytime the sports book's using a simple formula to compute a line, there's an opportunity there. If you're watching the game live, if you're checking out box scores, digging in, looking at the numbers, you can definitely find edges there. I know a lot of guys who make a living in Vegas simply on betting second halves in each sport. So it's definitely a market where you're going to put more time in other areas. You're going to have to be watching the game or at least looking at box scores closely, intently. What's going on? What's the foul situation? What's the shooting looking like? Is one team shooting 1 for 18 from 3-point lane, the other team's 11 for 14, or something very bizarre where it's going to kind of regress back to the mean in the second half. So look for those kind of outliers. Those could be big, and the sports books just don't have enough manpower to look at every game individually. So definitely opportunities in the second half. I take advantage of them. They're tougher than they used to be. They are a little tighter than they used to be, but there's definitely opportunities, especially in college hoops when you've got Joe, I mean, there's 120-plus games on Saturday's card.
Exactly.
There's going to be good opportunities for second half. Just pay attention, watch some games, look at box scores. You'll find stuff. I mean, it's not like NFL where you've got only 5-6 games going on at once, and it's a little easier for the bookmakers to maybe make some small adjustments. There's just not enough time on a Saturday when there's 20, 30 games going on at one time for sports books to make any kind of adjustment. So definitely I like second halves.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we've had that conversation before here on the show where, you don't know. Somebody twists an ankle. Somebody, this happens. Or, we're all about controlling the variance. And, man, it's a hell of a lot easier to control when you take a half out of it and you're basically, it's a new bet. It's a new game. It's a new bet. But think about all the information you have gathered from watching 20 minutes in order to make that decision for the second half. So you try to get that across to bettors, but sometimes they don't understand that concept of, but I had a -6 the whole game. It's a whole new game in the second half.
Clean slate for sure. And, you have to look at it separately. And, you mentioned injuries. I mean, that's a huge factor. You look at a key player is maybe worth 3, 4, 5 points to the line in a full game. Well, in a half a game, he's worth at least half that, probably more if you look down the stretch how important those final 5 minutes are in a game. So if you can find a situation where a guy gets hurt mid-game or a guy's in heavy foul trouble with 3 fouls at half or something like that where he's not going to play the entire second half probably or maybe get a 4th foul early on and misses significant minutes, that's a gold mine. And the books, like I said, without the manpower, they don't have enough time and energy to look at those situations individually, especially in the small conferences. You look at a team like a Southern Conference team, Citadel or something like that. There's no way that people are watching that game or looking at the box scores intently enough. So you find big edges there with second halves with injuries, fouls, and it's just a great market to be in, especially if you're a better kind of working your way up and want to increase your bankroll quickly. In a short amount of time, I think second half is definitely an easier market than looking at full games.
Yeah, and would you also agree that maybe it's best to be a flat bettor in those types of situations? I mean, you mentioned you're looking to increase your bankroll and doing it quickly, and if second halves is the way to go, great. But would you say, are you tiering it, or is it best to be, listen, if you're a $100 bettor, bet $100, bet them, because you might have multiple games in a weekend that give you that opportunity where you might have an edge in the second half?
Yeah, I think for anybody that's not been doing this for very long and not very experienced, I think flat betting is probably a good idea. It takes years of doing this before you really have a good feel for how to quantify your edge. It's a very tough thing to do, to know how big your advantage is. You can estimate it and have an idea based on your power rating numbers and different situations, but even then it's still very difficult and just a lot of room for error there. So I think flat betting in general is good for more of a beginner level and even up to an intermediate level. I think once you start getting to a advanced level, you've been doing this for a few years, either professionally or at a serious level, then you can kind of break things down and say, okay, this is definitely a stronger play than my normal. And me at this point, I'll bet 2 or 3 times normal bet sometimes. I find something really strong.
Okay.
Even higher than that in some rare cases. But it took me a long time to kind of fine tune that skill where you can really understand, what creates an edge, how big is the edge, and you need a lot of past history to be able to back that up. Now,
you'll see a lot of guys, and Eric Waz joining us, BetterIQ.com. It is you want to be a better, you better get the Better IQ. I mean, I don't know how many, there's no better way to say it. I love the way that rolls off. Be a better at Better IQ, okay? That's what you got to do. But you talk about the betting aspect of it. If somebody's watching this right now, Eric, and is going, you know what, man, I can do this, man. I can do this for a living. How many plays do you think a capper should have under him before he should really determine if this is something that he can do full-time or do for a living and really make a living out of it? How many bets do you think should he have under his belt?
You really need to have well into the thousands. I mean, sample size is a hard thing. I mean, it's a couple hundred plays. You just have no idea if it's just random dumb luck, or based on the wins and losses. Now, if you look a little closer and you want to dig a little deeper and look at closing lines, that's a quicker way to find out whether you're good or not. Because if you look at a sample, let's say even just 100 games or 200 games,
okay,
if you're consistently beating the closing line, and not by a lot, you don't need a huge edge. You beat it by an average of a point per game, or maybe a little higher than a point per game.
Say, just explain
over
that.
100 or 200 game sample.
Explain that though for the folks that might not understand what you're talking about on closing line. Like, what am I checking?
Right. So basically, let's say you bet a game, college basketball game, -5. Okay, and you like the game a lot. You bet it at -5, maybe the morning of the game. And you look at the screen where you bet, the places you bet, you look at the line maybe right before tip-off, and you see the game is 6.5 now. That's a good bet. The game closed 6.5. You bet it at 5. You got 1.5 the best of it. That means you're going to win that game at a much higher rate than if the game just closed 5. You bet a game 5 and it closed 5, theoretically you have no edge. Now, there are circumstances where you may find information that's not baked into the market. It's rare. But for the most part, if you're not beating closing lines consistently, or if lines are going against you, God forbid you bet something -5 and later on in the day it's available at -3 or -4, that's a bad bet usually. Not always. There are some rare exceptions, but you really need to look at how your bet compares to what the closing market is on that game. So look at the game right before tip, or sometime near the beginning of the game, because that really tells you what the market thinks. And if you're beating the market consistently, you only need maybe 100 games or 200 games to be able to tell you that. If you're looking at just results, wins and losses, you need thousands of games, because there's so many lucky factors that play into a result, that if you're on a good run, I've seen guys go on runs for a few months and they just can't lose a game, and it doesn't mean they have a great skill or anything. This could be dumb luck that, hey, they're winning every close game, games are going to OT or going their way, maybe they're just seeing things really well over a short sample. But bottom line is, you get that closing line value. If you don't have that, you need at least probably 3, 4, 5,000 games of results with, when you're up a significant amount of units and hit a good percentage, to be able to tell yourself, hey, I have an edge at this. And the other thing, too, that goes along with that is you need to be able to explain your edge to somebody. If you just say, hey, I'm handicapping games and I'm going about my business and I like Arkansas today, if you can't explain why you have an edge on that game, you probably don't have one. So you need to have a good understanding of what creates the edge and how you got there. If you don't understand that, then you're really going to be at a loss for having a long-term sustainable edge.
And that should also be buyer beware for those of you that have been watching us here and watching this show and tailing us, and that the guys we bring on, the one thing that they all have in common, guys just like Eric here, is that if he tells you to play something, it's not, okay, here's play Arkansas and see you later. There is a method behind the madness, which is why it's so important to have Eric and the guys at BetterIQ.com. You got to have somebody in your corner, especially if you're new or if you're trying to get to that level where I'd like to have a couple of thousand plays under my belt that I can really see. But you don't have to do it alone. I mean, that's what you're here for, Eric. That's what BetterIQ is here, is that you can take guys from the very beginning to really, I mean, you can walk a guy through a couple of thousand plays and kind of make them the difference between being an amateur and being a pro.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's at BetterIQ, we got stuff for all different levels. Like I said, people coming in want to learn from the beginner standpoint all the way up to advanced expert level. We have a lot of serious bettors, and to be honest, there's on our site we've probably got a higher percentage of serious bettors, guys betting bigger amounts of money than a normal site may have. We just tend to attract a smarter clientele and people that really can recognize winners and recognize when people have an edge. So we've got a lot of those guys there, and they're learning stuff from us each day through our plays, through our podcasts, our articles. So there's really something for everybody at BetterIQ. That's the way we've designed it, is to be a place where people can go to learn and, like we said before, become a better. That's what it's all about.
Don't need to be intimidated either. Like you've hit here, you're listening to Eric, everybody on the roster, all the guys at BetterIQ. There's 6 of them. Every one of them brings a little something different to the table as well, Eric. You're all great cappers in your own right, but I think what people should also understand, especially when you're shopping for a group, somebody that you'd like to go ahead and tail and work with, you got to understand, anybody that ever tells you, Australian soccer, the Premier League, I love football, no. I mean, that's why you've got 6 guys there, and between the 6 of you, you all do a little something different, right?
Yeah, we stick to our strengths. I mean, we don't have one guy that handicaps 6 different sports. There's no way one guy can successfully attack 6 sports well. It's just not possible. So each guy sticks to their 2 or 3 best sports, and we attack it that way. And we got all the sports available there, but they're all through different handicappers. So we got different guys who specialize in NBA and college basketball and soccer. That's the way to do it. That's the right way to do it. That's the way to get the most success, is to diversify through different handicappers. So we have a lot of people that come to our site. They'll buy my college basketball, they'll buy Micah's soccer, they'll buy Aaron Renning's NBA. They'll kind of mix and match a little bit and take the best of the best at each sport. And that way you're going to optimize your results. You don't want to just take one handicapper and say, I'll take everything he handicaps. Another site that guy does 6, 7 sports. It's too hard to manage all that. You need to be a specialist in today's age if you really want to excel, and that's what we do at BetterIQ.
And you mentioned about flat bettors for the guys that may be a little novices to the intermediate level. When you give plays out, Eric, somebody buys a package and somebody's working with you guys. I mean, are you we see these places 10% play, 8% play, 5% play. Like, is there some sort of method behind the bankroll with you guys on what you're recommending?
Yeah, we keep it really, really simple for people. A lot of sites out there, I feel like it's somewhat confusing for newbies, so ours is very simple. 80% of our plays are considered a 1-unit play, which that means you just bet your normal bet size and you see a 1-unit play. About 15% of our plays, maybe even 20%, are a 2-unit play, which basically means it's a double-up bet. We're betting twice your normal bet size. They're rare. We don't put a lot of them out. We're not one of those sites that pumps out every single day, 5, 10 free big plays. We just don't do that. We're very cautious to let people bet twice their money on a game. We want to make sure we're very confident in the edge, so we don't put out a lot of big bets. And then every once in a while, this is extremely rare, maybe once a season, twice a season, for each handicapper, we'll put out a 3-unit play, which is a triple bet. We've got a fantastic record on that. We want to put those out in a very rare circumstance where we find a good piece of information, something that lines off 4, 5, 6 points from what we made it, or greater than that. So it's very simple: 1 unit or 2 unit, very rarely a 3 unit. We don't try to put percentages in there. We don't try to change every game. We don't have half units or unit and a half. It's very simple: 1, 2. And a very rare 3-unit play.
Love that. Guys, get to betteriq.com. If you are watching right now, if you guys have been watching this show, then we're all trying to become a little more profitable in 2019, a little smarter. It starts by being around guys that are doing it, that have been doing it, that are successful. And I think you just heard from Eric exactly why betteriq.com is a place that you need to go to. Get yourself familiar with them. Make sure you're tailing Eric as well at WazBetterIQ. The whole gang is there, but really make sure you have in your favorite places right now betteriq.com. Be a better, be a little more profitable, and it starts by hanging out with guys like Eric. And Eric, I appreciate you so much. And if you missed it, Eric had joined us and told us a little bit about a Rutgers-Illinois game that's happening this weekend. And ultimately, Eric, it is all about Rutgers this weekend. You've got it somewhere, about 5.5 you're looking at?
5.5. If we get 6, I'll be ecstatic, but I'll take it at 5 or better for sure. Those lines should come out here in the next few hours, and I'll be all over Rutgers in that one.
Cha-ching, people. Circle it, get it done, get to betteriq.com. Eric, thank you so very much, my friend. Look forward to doing it again. You learned a whole lot just sitting here talking to you for 20 minutes. Appreciate your time, and good luck this weekend. We'll talk again next week.
Thanks for having me, Joe. Can't wait to do it again. Have a good weekend.
I'm at the bank making money, making moves. Machines with tools and drills, making grooves. Missions impossible, that's lotsable. I'm upside down, hanging like Tom Cruise. Loud, loud.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what we do here on the Joe Raineri Show is we try and match people. We bring these guys on, we bring these guys that are vetted, these guys that are proven commodities in the sports handicapping industry, guys that will never steer you wrong, that put in the time, put in the effort, and give you an opportunity to be able to meet them and hear from them. And in just that 20-minute conversation, I'm pretty sure that those of you that heard even parts of that, you understand what's going on there at BetterIQ. You understand that this is a group of 6 guys, 6 cappers here that know their shit, for a lack of a better term, that are doing it, including Eric, a guy that dropped everything and pursued this and said, I can do this. I'm going to go out to Vegas and do it for a living. That's exactly what he has been doing. So when he talks about you need a couple of thousand plays, guys. You can't have 150 plays under your belt and go, well, I'm 85%, so I can definitely do this for a living. Too many things come into play. Too many variables come into play. Dumb luck, like he said. This is a guy that's been in the trenches, has been there and done that. The roster he's got at BetterIQ, you're going to be hard-pressed to find it. These are some of the best in the game. And give them an opportunity. Go check out betteriq.com. You'll see exactly what they're talking about. He gave you a play here this weekend. Rutgers, he likes them 5.5. Keep that in mind tomorrow as Rutgers and Illinois get ready to do battle. Over 120 college hoop games tomorrow, guys. Over 120. There's going to be more than that this weekend, including tonight. You got NBA games tonight. And, in fact, we're not done helping you be more profitable. We're going to bring you our TrendyBets.com free NBA play of the day. Plus, I got 2 additional NBA plays. One is the over of the day that you guys got to take a look at. We got plenty of opportunities for you guys to pocket a little cash here this weekend, make it a profitable weekend, which is what it is all about, and a very special offer from our friends at HalftimeMagic.com. I can't believe they're doing this, but they're doing it. And they want you to experience what so many people have already figured out and what you just heard Eric talking about. Second half betting. You're always looking for an edge. there's an edge in second half, and maybe nobody does it better than HalftimeMagic.com. So we will go ahead and get you set up with that. I can't believe they want to do this, but they're going to offer you something that is just mind-blowing this weekend and something that you better take advantage of it. So get ready. We'll talk about that coming up. Do want to remind you also, I don't care what you do, who you use, you can go to Eric, go to Better IQ, but your ass better be line shopping, guys. Why? Because you're not betting teams, you're betting numbers. So doesn't it make sense that you'd want to go out and get the best number? Too many of you, I've heard the horror stories. I hear you guys bitching and moaning every day. Got burned by the hook, got burned by this. Well, you're getting burned because you're not shopping the numbers. And you just heard him talk about in a great, and I mean great interview about closing line and how if you really want to measure yourself, then measure where the bet was and where the closing line was. Where did you start it? Where did you go? And guys that are very successful, guys that have great closing line numbers, you know what they do? They shop. They shop the lines. And how do you do it? You got to have an offshore account that you trust. And we've been using YouWager, obviously. You guys know this. I wouldn't be telling you to call them right now, 1-800-YouWager, if my own money isn't in there, if my own experience hasn't been just phenomenal, including a 50% sign-up bonus right now by calling them at 1-800-YouWager and give them the code JRS50. That's JRS50. And they'll go ahead and drop a 50% deposit match bonus in there. The best part about these guys, yes, the pricing is great, but the customer service is second to none. Not to mention, and maybe this is my favorite part, okay, you pick up the phone, you call them, you can deposit money right away, and oh yeah, you can pull your money out right away without having to jump through 3 million hoops. These guys are great. You need to have an offshore account that you trust, and I can tell you right now, nobody does a better job than our friends at YouWager. So call them now. Get yourself ready to do a little line shopping this weekend. 1-800-YouWager. Give them the code JRS50. That's 1-800-YouWager. Give them the code JRS50, and they will get you set up with everything you need. Doesn't have to be a $1 trillion account, guys. Just got to put enough money in where if you see the number you like, you can make the bet, and you are good to go. 800-YouWager. Give them the code JRS50. All right, coming up, we've got your TrendyBets.com NBA Play of the Day. They nailed it again last night. They're going to nail it again tonight. Who are we kidding? Especially when you're 27-12 here over the last couple of months. These guys are on fire. It is time that you started profiting from TrendyBets.com as well. That play's coming up. Don't go nowhere. We're away in 60 seconds. It's the Joe Raineri Show. Happy Friday here. Free Play Friday on the Joe Raineri Show.
Where do you want to go on a vacation or honeymoon? The Caribbean, Europe, Hawaii, Mexico? How about Disney or a cruise? At Superior Cruise and Travel, we've got you covered. We'll assign you your own travel concierge. They'll help you design a custom vacation plan that you can't find online. And the service is completely free. You can't compare the value of this to any other online travel company. We can help you plan a custom vacation anywhere in the world. We even offer payment plans with no credit card required. Now you pay off your vacation on your time schedule. Call now and mention the promo code RADIO and save up to $500. Book your custom trip. Call Superior Cruise and Travel now and talk to one of the highest rated travel agencies in the country with a 5-star A+ online rating.
800-901-5536. 800-901-5536. 800-901-5536. That's 800-901-5536.
Welcome back in. It is the Joe Raineri Show. It is the Free Play Friday edition brought to you by YouWager.eu. Show note, don't forget, tomorrow afternoon, the Keg, the Sports Keg CEO, Jay, joins us tomorrow afternoon. getting you ready for a monster weekend in the world of sports. And nobody has made you guys more money than the Sports Keg this football season. The man was absolutely obnoxious. Did it again for the Super Bowl, delivering on a whole bunch of prop bets for you guys. He joins us tomorrow, Jay, the Sports Keg CEO, and he's also got a great thing going on right now. For those of you, if you haven't been tailing him, get your asses over there and tail him. It's at the Sports Keg CEO. He does a great live betting YouTube cast each and every night, especially tonight. I'm sure he's going to be doing it. If you guys like tailing people, if you like making money, then tail Jay and get your ass over to at the Sports Keg CEO. Click the links, go to the YouTube page. You got all members of the Keg there kind of walking you through and helping you through, guys, being a little profitable on a YouTube live betting chat each and every night. I was in it the other night. It was so much fun, and oh yeah, it was very, very profitable. So do yourself a favor, at the Sports Keg CEO. Tail him, and then get ready. Tomorrow, he's going to go ahead and join us live on the Joe Raineri Show. Also want to thank our good friends at Miami Acura for, of course, sponsoring us and being a part of the Joe Raineri family. These guys have been nothing but fantastic from the start of the show, and maybe the best part about Miami Acura is the prices and the deals that they have been giving you. I've been a client of theirs forever. I get my cars there. My parents did, and they don't have to be the new one. You don't have, I mean, go take a test drive, the all-new 2019 RDX. You'll probably never get out of it, but the certified pre-owned cars and the used cars, the prices, the deals, the quality, you can't get it anyplace else. So if you're in the market for a new or certified pre-owned car, whatever it may be, get over to Miami Acura, South Dixie Highway, those of you in the 305, or you can visit them. Just go to MiamiAcura.com. That is MiamiAcura.com, and start shopping. You can go and price every place else. Just make sure that you end up at MiamiAcura.com. They will beat any price. 855-564-4669 is how you reach them. Best to just go to MiamiAcura.com. All right, coming up here, we've got our TrendyBets.com, their free NBA play of the day. How good is this play? It is just disgusting how good it has been. And those of you that tail us here and those of you that have been following us on the show, then you know exactly what's been going on with them. They've been nailing pick after pick after pick after pick. They did it again last night for you, delivering on the Orlando play, the Orlando-Minnesota Wolves game, the over 221.5. They delivered on that for you. I mean, what can we say? When you've got it, you've got it. And these guys are putting in the time. These guys are putting in the work and the proof. Guys, the proof is in the numbers. You can't make it up. You can't fake winning, all right? You're either hitting it or you're not hitting it. And these guys have been nothing short of absolutely amazing here with their free plays on the Joe Raineri Show. In fact, we are now 27 of the last 39. 27 of their last 39 free plays have cashed here on the Joe Raineri Show, and they give one a day. It's one a day, Monday through Friday. They deliver us a free play. We pass it along to you, and I know a whole bunch of you. I see you, Teddy. I know exactly what's going on. I see you, John. Those of you guys joining us in the chat rooms right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They've made you nothing but cash, and they've got another free play coming your way tonight. Let's take a look at who TrendyBets.com likes in tonight's NBA game. We're looking at the Cavs and Wizards here, people. Cavs, Wizards here tonight. Washington laying 10, the total 221.5. Here's what we know from TrendyBets.com. The Cavs, 4-1 ATS in their last 5 games overall. Okay, the Wizards, 1-5 ATS in their last 6 games overall. Washington is just putrid. They're 1-6 ATS in their last 7 games. After they've scored more than 125 points in the previous game, which they lost. And finally, the Cavs, 4-1 ATS, their last 5 meetings against Washington. The TrendyBets.com free NBA play, they are looking Cavs plus 10. And I'm going to add something on top of that, my own play here. I not only love Cavs double digits, it's just way too much money. It's way too many points. I don't know why in the world anybody would think that the Washington Wizards should be a double-digit favorite over anybody. But I'm just fading the Wizards at all costs at this point for the rest of the season. And it's not as if that I'm saying that the Cavs are great, but the Cavs have covered 4 of the last 5 trips to Washington, D.C. They've also, as a dog, and they've also covered 7 of their last 8 between these two teams. And they're actually, they're putting it together. I trust Cleveland a hell of a lot more than I trust Washington. So not only am I going to take the 10 or 10.5, like TrendyBets.com is saying, I'm also going to take that over because I think that's not nearly enough points for these two bag teams. I'm going to take the over 221.5 tonight as well. But do yourself a favor. Start trailing Trendy Bets at Trendy Bets on Twitter, TrendyBets.com. Visit their site. They've got NBA packages available all weekend long. If you want 50% off one of them, simply use the code NBA50. But take the Cavs tonight, plus 10 or 10.5, depending on where you're going, all right, and start making it a profitable weekend. TrendyBets.com, one of our favorites. Use that code NBA50 at TrendyBets.com. Get yourself 50% off any one of their NBA packages. So great stuff there. Also, and I had mentioned this, I don't know if you guys know, but our friends at Halftime Magic have sent me a text, and they emailed us over a offer that they wanted us to pass along to you. So we'll go ahead and do that. I can't believe they're going to do it, but they are willing, especially with the amount of games that we've got going on this weekend. But this is a great opportunity. Those of you that want to get into second half betting, and we've talked about it on this show a whole bunch. Hell, we just talked to Eric Waz from Better IQ, and he told you flat out, how many more times do you need to hear it? There are sharps in Vegas, guys that make a very good living never playing a full game line, only playing the second half. Why? Because of the data and the information you can get, and there's an actual edge to be had, okay? There's an actual edge to be had. And I can't think of anybody better at the second half game than HalftimeMagic.com. They've been with us here, guys, for the last 3 months. Those of you that have signed on with them, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You never want to play a full game line again after hanging out with HalftimeMagic.com. And they are doing something here tonight that I just find amazing. And let me go ahead and put it up on the screen. They are offering you a free play weekend. That's right. You can get the free plays tonight and tomorrow from HalftimeMagic.com. All you have to do is just ask for it. Apparently, if you email them right now, support@HalftimeMagic.com, that's support@HalftimeMagic.com, simply email them with my name in the subject line, and they will set you up with a free account for tonight and tomorrow. And again, over 120 college basketball games alone. What are we looking at? Between the NBA and college 150 some odd games that are going to be coming your way here over the next 48 to 72 hours. And comes with a guarantee. They are telling me that if they don't hit at least 60% of the plays that they send you this weekend, they'll go ahead and discount any package you want, 50% off any package you want. And that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. They're ultimately guaranteeing you guys at least 60% winners over the weekend. Does it get any crazier than that? I don't know what you stop what you're doing and write support@halftimemagic.com down. That is the email address. Email them in the subject line, my name. You can put any form of it. You can just put douche. You could put Joe Douche, dickhead, whatever it is you want to put in there. They'll know it's me. Any sort of slang along those lines, and I'm pretty sure they'll understand it's me. But all you do is send them an email, support@halftimemagic.com, put my name in it or any form of it, and they'll go ahead, set you up with a free account, and the plays will start coming over tonight. They will come over tonight. Another great slate of games, not only in the NBA, but also college hoops. So do yourself a favor. Let's all make it a profitable weekend in second half plays. Get in touch with Halftime Magic. Tell them right now at Halftime Magic, but they're guaranteeing you 60%, at least 60% of their plays will hit this weekend, or they'll give you a half off just about anything that they offer on the site. I'm telling you guys, take advantage. You will be absolutely thrilled, and you will be DMing me saying, wow, these guys were no joke, man. HalftimeMagic.com. Free play weekend. All you got to do is ask for them. Hit them up at support@halftimemagic.com. How cool is that? So want to thank Scott and the fellas over at Halftime Magic. Want to wish them the best of luck. Wish you the best of luck. But if you're signing up with halftimemagic.com, you are going to be ridiculously happy. The slate of games this weekend in the NBA and college hoops is going to make it almost impossible for you not to walk away with money come Monday morning. And that's, of course, where we'll help you make it rain as we recap everything that happened over the weekend in sports, and we give a look out to the following week. All the lines, all the betting information, everything you need to know in order to make it rain during the week. 6A to 9A, the Fantasy Sports Radio Network. Download that app. Join us. Follow us. Hashtag Make It Rain. Me and my partner, Dane Martinez, we've got you in the morning, getting your day started with a little sports talk, a little sports betting talk, a little profitability, and that is what it is all about. I do want to thank Eric Waz, of course, from Better IQ. I can't stress enough how important it is for you guys to have smart, intelligent people in your corner. And there's more than one. Any one of the guys that come on this show, whether it be Joe D'Amico, who unfortunately is a little bit under the weather here today, but Joe will be joining us in a couple of days again. Whether it be Joe D'Amico or Ralph Michaels or the Prez or Tony George or the Keg, Jay the Sports Keg CEO, the list goes on. The captain, all of these guys that we bring here on the show, they all have one thing in common. They are determined to be the best. They are determined to win, and they are determined to help those that believe in them and support them. And Eric and the crew at Better IQ, their entire philosophy and the entire thing of what they do is to not only be profitable, but to make their clients profitable and make them smarter. Not just, hey, play Arkansas, and not have an edge to explain to them. They want you to be smarter. They want you to understand where they're coming from. And you're not going to find that in a lot of places, guys. I can tell you that right now. A lot of people will send you 35 plays in a night, and you see it all over Twitter and every place else. They 900 games. Like, stop with the 900 games, okay? Stop with the 23 games in a night. You're never going to get that from guys like Better IQ and Eric. What you're going to get is you're going to get the plays that have the edge, and if there's not an edge to be had, they won't send you a play. So it's not about quantity, it's about quality, and more importantly, it's about understanding why they're choosing what they're choosing. And Eric gave you a play tonight that if you didn't get a chance to hear it, make sure you catch the replay of the interview as soon as we're done here. Always available on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. The videos are housed there. Make sure you check out. Eric breaks down tomorrow's Rutgers-Illinois game, and he gave you the number. He explained why it was that he's all over Rutgers at 5.5, getting the points. Makes total sense. You'll either do one of two things. You'll either listen to him, agree with him, and make the play, or you'll disagree with him and go, you know what? I hear you. Don't agree. I'm going to go the other way. Whatever it is, the bottom line is you are smarter and more knowledgeable for having listened to Eric and understood where you come from, as opposed to just throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks. So do yourself a favor. It's okay to have more than one guy and one company and one group to use. Utilize them all, okay? Utilize all the guys that come here on the show. Make yourself a smarter sports investor and watch how profitable you become in 2019. BetterIQ.com. Want to thank him very much. Also, Trendy Bets, of course, for delivering on an obnoxious level. 27 out of the last 39 have delivered winners here on the show. That's 27 of the last 39 free plays they have given us. We have passed along to you, and they have cashed. And that, again, if you're just joining us, is the TrendyBets.com free play of the day. Cavs Wizards here tonight. I don't know why anybody in their right mind thinks that the Wizards should be laying double digits against anybody, even the lonely Cavaliers there. But I love this play, 10.5 in some books. I also took the over. I like that number. I think that's a little low, 221.5. I'm going to go with the over in that game. But make sure you make yourself a little profitable here today by getting yourself the Cavs plus 10, plus 10.5. There was actually a couple of other games that were passed along to me that I will share with you if you'd like a couple of more plays tonight, especially in the NBA. And I think one of the first games that I have been all over, and I mentioned this on the morning show, Make It Rain, this morning. This was my NBA play of the day. I like Sacramento over Miami, laying the 3. And Miami is just not in a good spot right now. Miami is all about one guy, Justice Winslow, and right now he's in a terrible slump. He can't hit water if he fell out of a boat. But Sacramento, coming off a fresh start where they now acquired Harrison Barnes. He'll be his first game will be tonight with this team. Vlade Divac and the Sacramento Kings have told the NBA and the Western Conference, we don't give a shit. We're going to take the number 8 seed, okay? Vlade Divac, the Sacramento Kings, are determined and committed to getting at least the 7th or 8th seed in the West. They want to make the playoffs, and you got to love that because I don't think anybody thought the Kings were going to be as competitive as they are this year. They've also won and covered the last 3 games, the last 3 meetings against the Miami Heat. And I think it was back in October. It was 123-113 is the last game. They took care of business there. They've also covered 8 of their last 9 at home, and they've gone 19-9 ATS at home this season, being the Sacramento Kings. Yes, the Heat ended a 3-game losing streak. They took care of business against Portland on Tuesday, but I think Harrison Barnes is going to make his debut tonight for the Kings. I'm on the Kings at home. I am fading the Miami Heat on a West Coast trip without really firing on all cylinders. I think Sacramento's going to be pumped. They're going to look forward to having their new teammate Harrison Barnes lay the 3 points, take Sacramento tonight against the Miami Heat. And I know you Heat fans are not going to be happy with me, but that is where I am going. Also, I've got one other over of the night if you are interested. We are going to concentrate on the Chicago Bulls and Brooklyn Nets game. All right, deadline trades. The Bulls rotation has been not good here for most of this season. But I can tell you right now, it also means that there's not going to be a whole lot of defense going on. Brooklyn, their pace of play, quick shots, pushing the ball up the floor. I do believe that they won't have a problem scoring in any way this game. But at the same time, I do think that Chicago, that being the Chicago Bulls, I think they're going to hang around in this game. I think they're going to make it close. So I like Chicago getting 8.5. Otto Porter now with the Chicago Bulls. He fills a monster void offensively and defensively for this team. And these two teams met a few weeks ago. Brooklyn only beat them by 5. So Chicago only lost by 5. They're getting 8.5, 9 points tonight in this game. The Bulls should be better than the team that the Nets faced a couple of weeks ago and were only able to beat them by 5. So I like both the over in this game at 220. Let me make sure I got the right number here. I think the over is... The over is 224.5 right now. I do like the over, and I do like Chicago. I like Otto Porter. I like getting rid of Jabari Parker. I think offensively their flow and their defense has just improved. So I do like Chicago to keep this thing close and stay within 8.5, 9 points of Brooklyn. And I do think both of these teams are going to be able to score some points tonight. So go ahead and take that down. Love that. I'll give you one more here as the list comes in on it's amazing here on the show. We're always getting an awful lot of free plays and free information sent to us throughout the day, and I want to thank all of the professional cappers who do this as we pass along the information to you. But I'm getting a lot of Chicago 8.5, a lot of Chicago 9, a lot of Cleveland 10.5, like we've talked about. And what else? Is there any other consensus picks that I'm looking at? Oh, yeah, Golden State laying 15.5. We got 1, 2. I've got 4 direct messages from cappers I highly trust telling me Golden State laying 15.5 against Phoenix is probably a money play. So there you go. You got plenty of stuff to be dangerous on, plenty of stuff to be profitable this weekend on, and it all starts with having the right guys in your corner. So I do want to thank Eric Waz, BetterIQ.com, TrendyBets.com, our friends at HalftimeMagic.com, Docs, of course, the leader since 1971, Wager Talk, iTicket Hub, Good Greek Moving and Storage, YouWager.eu, and Miami Acura. More importantly, I want to thank you guys for making us a part of your day. It is all about knowledge, spreading the wealth, and making all of us a little bit more profitable in 2019. The only way I know how to do that, and the way I am committed to doing that, is by bringing you the best cappers from around the country and spreading the knowledge. And I appreciate your support as always. We'll be back again tomorrow with the Keg, the Sports Keg CEO. He'll get you ready for the weekend worth of plays, not only in college but in the NBA and football. Don't forget, nobody has been more profitable in football than the Sports Keg CEO, Jay, and he's got 10 weeks now coming up of AAF football starting tomorrow. We'll get his thoughts on that, get a couple of plays for you, and we'll just keep this train rolling. So on behalf of all the sponsors, guys, thank you very much. Share these videos, like these videos, subscribe to our channel, follow us. Spread the knowledge for us. The more people that we can reach, the better off it'll be. As sports betting continues to grow in this country, hopefully so will our pockets, because we're going to be so much further ahead than the guys that are just starting out, and it all starts with having the right people in the corner. I'm glad you're in my corner. Hopefully you'll be taking these guys and taking their knowledge and their suggestions and cashing tickets this weekend. So thanks again, guys. Make it a great Friday. Make it a great weekend. We will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks very much for making us a part of your day. Good luck tonight, guys. We'll talk to you then. It's the Joe Raineri Show.